This is Moments with Foo with James Foo Torres, better known as Foo, the show that takes you around the world to share interviews with some of the most successful and relevant people on the planet, hear their stories, and get the most important business lessons they have learned on their road to success, and get exclusive advice on how to implement their success into your life and business. Moments with Foo is brought to you by the Strategic Advisor Board and your host, Foo.
Welcome to Moments with Foo. I'm your host, James Foo Torres, but you can call me Foo. It's the name of the podcast. Today I have a very special guest, and as you might know, this setup is not my setup, it's actually his setup. His name is Naseem Issa, but I'll call him Nazoom. It's that's a past branding of him, a younger, fast runner that they call him Zoom, and I really liked it, so it's kind of stuck there for a long time. So we met in the military, we met in the Air Force, very young. I think we were like 19, now it's like 23, and we do some cool stuff together. We build a great bond, and now after the military, we have now in common that we both did the entrepreneurial journey. Yep. And I went to the marketing strategy spaces where I landed after PR and all kinds of things, and you went for the real estate, so we're gonna dig into that. But first, let's give the audience a quick introduction about yourself and what you're doing right now.
Yeah, so I met Foo back in the Air Force, so I know he knows a little bit about my journey now. So I originally joined the Air Force because I had nothing going on. I didn't like school. I didn't want to get into school. I salute the people that do it. Thank you for your service in the education industry. But I went the military route because I was bored one day, and I was scrolling on the internet, and I just tapped on a freaking Air Force ad, and I went, met the recruiter, and she was like, "You're not gonna make it." And I was like, "All right, bet." So a lot of my my life has been, "Hey, you're not gonna make it. You're not fit for this. You're not strong enough for this. You're not tall enough for this. Whatever it may be, it's always been you're not gonna be able to do it." And my whole life is based off of proving people wrong. And I went into the Air Force, had a hell of a career. Like, anything that you could have imagined to do in your Air Force career, I was able to accomplish it, and then
I can make a testimonial of that. This guy was getting all the awards, youngest, fastest. But it's just, dude, it's that grind, dude. Yeah. You always had it. So I knew that when you went to this entrepreneur journey, dude. I told you since day one, dude. I was like, dude, I'm glad that you're doing this. I know you got it. I told you it's gonna be hard, but I know that you had it, dude, because I saw how hard you work in the Air Force, where it sucks in a lot of ways.
And you don't get paid for it.
You don't get paid for it. You're paid the same.
Hey, you only work 3 hours, I work 17, and I get paid just like you do. So, it was definitely, it was rough.
That's what it wasn't my incentive. And I know that you saw it as like, I'm going to prove people wrong. Yep. For me, I did do that on certain aspects of it, but I didn't feel incentivized enough. Like the awards and stuff weren't enough for me to go above and beyond. And like he said, just do extra work, because at the end of the day, I was getting paid the same. Yep. So that's why I like the entrepreneurship, because it's like you put more work, you actually get incentivized. There's no cap on how much money you can do. So that's 100%. Why I incentivize better entrepreneurship than they.
Yeah, and he knows I was going to do it for 20. I was going to do it for 20 years, get my retirement check, and then go pursue things. But I was at the lowest at one point in my career, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to take my chance and get into something else, and that ended up being real estate. And how I got into real estate initially was when I was 21, I purchased my first house, and, I didn't tell you this yet, but when I purchased my house and I pulled up to the house with the key, I cried. Like, I legitimately cried.
Amazing.
For me, growing up, like, we had a house, right? But 9/11 happened, we lost our house, and we had to move, and we never had stability again. So for me, it was very important to have that stability. So purchasing this home was that for me. It was a life goal of mine, and I accomplished it at such a young age. And I knew I was going to get into real estate. I didn't know in what way. I didn't know if I was going to be inspector, appraiser, investor, whatever it may be, but ended up going the agent route. And that was April of 2022. That's when I actually started my real estate journey. Closed 14 deals my first year. This year I'm on track to triple that, and
what a beast.
Shoot, I just keep improving, man. So
hey, and that's why you're here, man. Because you're a beast. It's not just that we do have the story, but how much we've been talking offline, and man, I was so looking forward to have this conversation, because I got out before you,
Yep.
and I started my journey while I was in, actually. And then 6 months before getting out, did a full-time job for a little bit. I absolutely hated it, and I just like I was planning my escape the whole time. I was working at Intel at the fab, and I had 3 or 4 days off, and I was using that to take calls. I was taking calls on my lunch break. I was doing everything to plan my escape, and I got a 5-figure deal. Then I got another referral for a 5-figure deal. And then I was, you know what? I feel good. If I can do this twice, I can do it again.
Crazy?
And I just
remember that. I remember that. I actually remember when I seen him post his first 5-figure deal. I do remember that. And it was so crazy because I'm like, damn, he's getting that money. In the military, we don't get paid a lot.
Yeah.
The most I got paid before I got out was like around $4K a month. And we think
you
that's
have like sergeant, and you excel, like you were at the top, like you were at the top of your class, basically.
We're not E9, right? So like for the military folks, I wasn't a chief. I was just a staff sergeant, E5. But even for me, that was at 4 years I put on staff. So I was an E5.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I'm saying. You
so
got there faster than most people.
Yeah, like most people do not make it that fast, and the ones that do, hey, good for you. You put your head down, you got there, but.
Like this one.
Even then, it's not enough. It's not enough.
I didn't even make sergeant, and I didn't even care about. I didn't even test for it because I was like, I'm getting out in a couple months because I did 4 years, so I went like the shortest possible. And at some point, I did think about like, damn, should I stay? Because it's kind of comfortable. Yes, there's the part of. Obviously, like it sucks, right? And that's why it tells you like embrace the suck and all that. Like I was on our ACS, which is Air Control Squadron, which means that we deploy every single year. So I deployed a lot in just my 4 years. I deployed twice. So I spent like almost 16 months, I think, in deployment total, in just 2 deployments. So I was out there, and I was, it does suck in those places, but the check always comes. They always gonna feed you, and they're always gonna take care of you.
It's the comfort. It's the comfort. Stability, comfort, and like they tell you once you get out, you will no longer have that.
Yeah, and that's scary. But and everybody, look, I got out in 2020. 2020, meaning like COVID happening, everybody's going crazy. I bought a house. In 2020, I got a job with Intel, and that's why I was able to get the house and the VA loan, obviously. And then from there, I was like, you know what? I closed those 5-figure deals, and I was like, I don't know, I don't have predictable revenue yet, but I'll figure this out. And I just figure it out. And then looking back, sometimes I think, damn, like I might have gone too fast on all the things that happened. But at the same time, I'm still here in the best time of my career. And look, now I'm being able to come here. I just sold today my first house that I bought in 2020. 3 years later, I sold it.
Congratulations.
And this is to say a testament about like the look, everybody, when I was gonna buy, a lot of people were like, oh, prices are too high, even though interest rate, everybody, in every climate, there's always people telling you to not buy.
Well, there's gonna be more people to tell you no than to tell you yes, but guess what?
There's always
the
people.
1%. That's the 1%.
Dude, and I bought the house. And I was like, I'm gonna figure this out. And then I did risky things, like I'm gonna say like here, like we got a realtor here. I waived my inspection.
You're wild.
I'm wild as fuck. And I had to even fix something in the ceiling and everything because of that. But guess what? Still make a whole lot of money because of the equity. So I didn't regret buying. So that means, the best time to buy was that time, to be honest. That was the best time.
Yesterday's price is the best price. Today's is the second best.
So exactly. So regardless of what's happening. So I think this is a good segue to go then to talk about actionable tips of advice. Talk about the real estate market right now, and you can talk of both, the buyer seller's side, and also like the real estate professional. So how do you see this?
And you know what? I'm gonna be very personal with my own experience, right? So I purchased my house in 2019. So just December 2019 to be exact, right before COVID. So I didn't know. No one knew, right? But I had the same situation. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. And I'm gonna be very open, right? I have over 150K equity in my house today. 150K because I didn't listen, right? I was stubborn, and I took a chance on myself because I knew what I wanted, and let alone, even though everyone else was telling me not to, let alone they owned homes as well, but they told me not to do it. It's crazy, right? But now I'm in this situation, and in today's market, right, where we did have the COVID, the COVID blow up, right? The housing market went absolutely insane, and now the market is the other way around, right? It's not dropping. It's not gonna. I don't think it's gonna crash. I don't have a crystal ball.
It's just offer demand.
Yeah.
There's no one thing I want to just say a quick comment. Like
Yeah.
this is what and you can then bank on this if you agree or not. But like comment on this that right now builders, especially with the price of like the building and all that stuff, builders cannot keep up with the amount of people that want a house.
Yep.
So houses get built. People are selling less because they don't have another place where they can get a good rate. Still, people need to move, and so things are gonna still happening. So for a market to crash, has to be that things are like builders or something can't keep up, and suddenly there's a bunch of house. It's there's a finite amount of places that to build new things goes through a long process. So there's always this offer and demand, and then there's always gonna be that fluctuation. But then guess what? If the prices go down a little bit, then interest go up, and then the other way around. Oh, interest go down, people see an opportunity to buy, they go and buy now, and then go up again. So it's just a matter of not time in the market, it's just time in the market.
Yeah, and I spend a lot of time on the phone with, doing buyer consultations, right? And their biggest concern is always interest rates, right? It's like, hey, my interest rate is a 7.5%. I'm like, awesome, that's pretty good because, maybe last Friday it was 8.2%. And it fluctuates so much, and people don't really know these things, right? They don't know how interest rates work and how the market reflects when interest rates move up and go down. So my rule of thumb is if interest rates are high, housing prices are going to be lower, right? But guess what? That means a lot less competition, a lot more people hesitating to purchase. You can get a lot more as far as like getting closing costs covered, right? Being able to negotiate the house at the price, being able to get an appraisal, not have to waive inspection or appraisal, right?
Like 2020 was so wild.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do 30K over or whatever. I put 10 over because that's what I had.
Yeah.
And then I just say waive the inspection. There was people putting 20, 30 because I waived that because they said, they specifically told my realtor that they wanted to move as quick as possible. So they wanted to do shorter inspection period. And I said, what if I just waive it?
Yeah.
And then because of that, and I was able to take a lower, super risky, don't recommend.
Yeah.
But I also, they had done an inspection like a year prior, and they had a new ceiling and all that.
Yeah.
So even though it ended up being something that I needed to fix some things, it still ended up being a great deal. So it's just a matter, the point that I'm trying to make in here, and I know you're probably gonna support this, is that there's good opportunities on every market.
Yeah.
So it's a matter of getting a good realtor professional that can go and fight for you and find the right deal. So if the interests are high, can we get closing costs? Can we get things in here? If the interests are low, okay, I think you should go a little bit over so you can get this rate. It's a good time. Just having someone in your corner, and like he said, like he doesn't have a crystal ball, but he's in it. Like he's boots on the ground. Like there's no better representation than somebody that's killing it in the game at such a young age.
I appreciate it. Thank
you.
you,
Man.
Yeah, and to kind of just piggyback off that, you remember when they
That
said
military.
Why not? Just to piggyback, right? So my advice to someone, if they're sitting there and you're watching this and you're considering, should I buy a house now or should I wait? I'm gonna tell you do it, right? And the reason why I say do it now, interest rates may not go down 2% tomorrow. It may not happen in the next 3 months. It may not happen in the next year. But if it goes 13 months from now and you've already built a little bit of equity and interest rates drop to maybe 5%, the market is going to go absolutely insane because people have been begging for lower interest rates so they could afford what they used to be able to afford, right? And guess what? You're stuck at the price point of $300,000, right? Where your house, once the interest rates drop, may now be getting offers at $500,000, $600,000 or something absolutely insane. So date the rate because you can always dump it and refinance it, and marry the price because once you're locked in at that price, you're stuck with it for 30 years, 15 years, whatever your loan setup may be. But I think that's what a lot of people are nervous about. And me personally, getting ready to purchase my second house, I looked myself in the mirror and I had the same conversation with myself. Are you going to be willing to eat this 7, 8, whatever percentage it may be, So that way, in the long run, when you build this equity, as I have just like in this home right now, is it going to be worth it? The answer is always going to be yes. So get uncomfortable. If you're going to do something uncomfortable, it just means something great is going to come out of it.
Yeah, I mean, man, couldn't said it better. And I think that was it's a good segue to now talk about the real estate professional side, and because that's entrepreneurship, and that's something that we can definitely both say good comments. So I mean, dude, such a young, one of the most up and coming realtors right now in EXP, which absolutely, I think that they have the best brokerage by far. I mean, the way that they do things is fucking incredible. And my realtor got me into it, and I started learning. And then when you said that you were gonna do that, I was like, dude, I remember I texted you, I was like, dude, EXP, and you're like, dude, I'm already there, dude.
I'm already there.
So yeah.
And let me tell you something real quick. A lot of people misinterpret EXP as a recruiting brokerage, as someone that's like, oh, they just want to bring agents in and recruit. I'm like, dude, I can go through my emails right now. I have emails from Keller Williams. I have emails from Century 21. I have emails from Amherst Madison, which is a local brokerage. Dude, everyone's recruiting. It doesn't matter what brokerage you go to. But you know what most people don't think about? When are you going to retire from real estate? When are you going to be able to retire from real estate? Dude, I was walking out of the closing the other day, and this lady, no offense to her, she may see this one day, right? Or there may be some older real estate agents that see this. She was probably in her 60s, man. I don't want to do real estate in my 60s. Why would you want to work in your 60s? You know why? Because you got a lifestyle that you loved, that you want to, you want to keep it. And if you get out, you're no longer making money. They may have not set themselves up. They may love real estate, whatever it may be. Doing real estate for 20, 40 years is not something I want to do. I want to retire from real estate. And that's one thing that all these companies that are brick and mortar that are trying to recruit these people into are not telling them about. Like, hey, you're going to have to close deals for the rest of your life if you don't focus on passive income. And that's something that EXP offers. And I'm more than happy to talk to people about that if they're wanting to learn more information about that.
Yeah, dude. I mean, in my journey, I consider joining EXP because I was like, damn, like I don't know about like showing houses to people and all that. But obviously, I knew. As you go to entrepreneurship, you start realizing that there's a common denominator. Every single millionaire has real estate, right? Yep. That doesn't mean that they build their wealth necessarily completely out of real estate. A lot of times is, what can I do to make money outside of that and then invest in real estate? Or if you're already in the market, right? Like being already in it and making money from it and then investing. But that's something that you that you gotta get into real estate. So I was like thinking about, damn, like that revenue share, all that stuff, and getting people. And if it's not a matter of, oh, I just want to build this pyramid or whatever. It's a matter of if you recognize that this is the absolute best, why wouldn't you share it?
So my partner and I, we call it chasing freedom, because the most important thing is your time, right? Imagine going to sleep and you could do that the rest of the year, and you're making six figures. What a fucking feeling.
Because you sacrifice the short-term gains. And then you look at the long term.
And most people are like, hey, I have to do real estate. Like, I have to chase the next deal. Well, you do that. But, like, while chasing those next deals, also chase the ability to leave the business and be able to spend time with your family, take vacations. Like, that should mean something to you. Like, me personally, being the age of 25, I don't want to work forever. Like, down the line, like, if I decide to start a family with my girlfriend here in the future, I don't want to have to go chase the next deal. I don't want to have to go make sure that, I'm making 300, 400, 500K a year to sustain a lifestyle that I want to live, I want to be able to step away from it, and me stepping away from it doesn't change how I get to live my life. So that's the biggest thing. Chase freedom.
Definitely. And that's something I think good to kind of talk about, not just the real estate, right? That he's using that vehicle right now, but chase the freedom in your own way. It doesn't have to be his way. It doesn't have to be my way. The one thing that I can say is there's two things that would be my biggest advices. Would be to focus on being in the best possible communicator that you can possibly be, because you're able to communicate, you can sell. You're able to communicate, you can network. You're able to communicate, you can market. So, and if you're able to do those things, then you can build wealth and you can build the life of your dreams, because you can communicate your desires properly and get people sold on whatever the mission.
Provide value. That's what sells. Providing value. When people have problems and you can provide value to solve them, that's what sells people. So, to get into real estate, actually being a real estate agent, I get excited about EXP and, offering them a chance that most brokerages don't offer, right? Just being able to retire. But my real estate journey was started because, I purchased my first house and I knew I was going to get into it. And from there, I was still part-time Air Force, right? So we're full-time Air Force, part-time agent. And like I said, lowest time of my life, like I was going through some things, some personal things, and I was like, I'm gonna take a chance. And I went, did my 2 weeks, and my first year was the 14 transactions, but it was building systems. And now with the market being more difficult, it's the best time to do it, because even though it's hard right now, in the future when things pick up, if you don't have the systems to be able to track what's coming in at a new, much higher volume, then you won't be able to sustain, what your potential could be. So that's the biggest thing for me is getting into real estate. It's not just about, hey, let me go open this door for you, or hey, let me just try to sell this house. Like, who wants to buy a house? Like, no, man, go provide value. Show them how they could build equity and change their family's lives through real estate. Show them how you're changing your own life through real estate, and people relate to that. People want to get into it. People will buy into it because you're providing that value, and they'll want to run with you all day long.
Dude, and that's such a good thing that I completely agree with that, first of all. And second, that kind of goes along with my second biggest advice that I wanted to give here, is to become a trusted advisor, right? Like, after you become a great communicator, now the second aim is for you to become a trusted advisor. And obviously there's overlap, right? As you keep growing, don't stop. Like, try to become a trusted advisor.
Build that sustainability.
Yeah, and that goes to like what you were saying, is building that foundation is very important.
Yep.
So then you can advise people into building those solid foundations too.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
that includes, what's your unique selling proposition, right? Like, as a realtor, isn't so many realtors, why is he winning and other people are not winning? Is because he's building a personal brand. He's out there, he's grinding, he's just like going at it. People don't want him on place, and he's like, you know what, doesn't matter, I'm gonna show up, I'm gonna prove you guys wrong, that I'm not this kid trying to make it, like, I'm here for real, you know?
And something, people tell me, they're like, dude, I keep track with your personal life, and they're like, I know what you're gonna do. You're gonna wake up, go to the gym, then you're gonna eat your breakfast.
I already know you do.
You're gonna start lead generating, then you're gonna go eat lunch, and then you're gonna hop on phones, and you're gonna do showings, and you're gonna do listing appointments. They know what I'm all about, and that's why they feel like they trust me and know me, and they can run with me.
And that's exactly my point.
Yep.
Like, he's literally out leaving and breathing point. Kind of, I am too, right? We're both like, we're getting your stuff out there. Like, I talk to people, like I was talking to you earlier. It was like, oh, dude, like, I know that you're getting into the yoga thing. It's like, because I posted it all the time, because like, that was something that I was like, I'm doing this challenge, and I was doing it and went for it. And now a lot of people, like, we don't talk that much. We literally every now and then, he's like, dude, blah, blah, blah. But we feel like we keep each other like in check all the time, because I comment on his stuff, I keep track of his posts, he keeps track of mine, and that we don't have to stay in touch all the time, and we're nurturing each other, and that's that we're friends. Like, for clients, the same way, building those relationships. People already know you. They feel like they're part of your life, and you don't even.
They're like, hey, dude, they'll hit me up. They're like, how's Debo doing? I'm like, good, man. Like, dude, someone, hey, listen. They're like, hey, did you take Debo on a walk today?
Right.
I was like, what? I was like, nah, man, I was on the phone. Leave me alone.
Dude,
it's so funny, man. It's so building, like, it's so crazy the type of relationships you can build just through social media, and just being able to stay in contact, right? Like, you're in a whole nother part of the world now and doing your thing, and you're going to Puerto Rico, and you're making all these trips, and I see it, I love it, and it's just an opportunity to continue to push each other, because I'm gonna see you do something, I'm gonna be like, bet, who can do it? I can do it too. So that's the biggest thing.
I remember that reminded me that you one time. I don't know, dude. It was some piece of content or something. You were starting out, dude, and I was like, and you sent me a message. It's like, dude, like, you don't even know how much you motivate me, like, cause I see you and you're like, dude, if food can do it, I can fucking do it, dude. And
dude,
that's what I
100%.
fucking do it. Like, and we do this shit all the time.
100%.
I seen you, like, with, like, the basketball crew, the game crew of, like, the Amount of Air Force that we saw them all the time. Now that they're like, damn, dude, like, food can do it, if, like, Zoom can do it, like, dude, like, we can do it too, and now they're coming in,
you know something, like, I do share a lot of people, like, a lot of the messages I get, right? I do share that, because a lot of people, they may not like, or they may not comment on your stuff, but that doesn't mean they don't see what you're doing. That doesn't mean they're not watching you and, you know, how you're progressing. And some people may be waiting for you to fall, right? But, hey, we'll never let them have that satisfaction. I will never let them.
But I would say haters give the best engagement. Even if, like, if they comment badly, guess what? People, you coming back, the people are coming back, and that's good engagement. If they don't like or comment, they still watching. That's still engagement.
Hey, you know what's funny? I was telling, we have this little real estate group, we're like super collaborative, and she was telling me how someone called her like a potato or something. Dude, and I was like, bro, you better hop on ChatGPT and tell her to be like, you're a savage, you're a comedian, you're ratchet, and you don't care if you cross a line, roast this comment. And like, bro, they will go in like no matter what it is, right? I'm a little more savage with my social media. I'm authentic, right? I'm not gonna be professional 24/7. That's not me.
Same. That's what we've always done.
I'm not the Zoom anymore, but I'm the same, and I'm still business professional. But at the same time, like, I stand up for people and I stand up for myself, and I hope you guys do too. But that doesn't mean you take the negative comments and let them run all over you. But still be real, right? If someone comes for me, I'm gonna come right back and I'm gonna hit you harder. Like, it is what it is.
It's part of the game.
Yeah.
It's part of the game, man.
Have fun with it. Have fun with it. If anything, have fun with it. Make some people laugh. Like, they'll love you for it.
For sure. Definitely have fun with it. Like, that's what pattern interrupts. That's what kicks off sometimes. Yeah. There's so much happening in the comments sometimes more than the actual post because of things like that. So, and that's, you know, one thing that I think this attaches with a lot of the points that we've been talking about is the fact that as long as you're genuinely looking to help and solve a problem, a pain that somebody has, if they say no, if they take it the wrong way and you came with the right intentions, learn from it if there's a lesson in it, and if not, ignore it, keep moving, because you're genuinely trying to help. If so, they don't want the help, they don't want the help. That's fine. Don't push them. Put them aside, take them out of your way, and that's it. But just as long as you have something good and you're solving something, just keep going. And that kind of goes very well too with like the trusted advice, because it's regardless of what industry you are, like you could be an accountant, you could be a dentist, you could be a realtor, you can be a marketing strategist, a marketing coach, whatever. If you solve one problem, right? Now they trust you. You solve it, you deliver, they trust you. You're building a relationship. They align with your values, because those are the people that you want to serve, the people that align with your values. Now guess what? They trust you. They see you with this network. Hey, who's the best for SEO? Oh, who's the best for lead gen? Who's the best for video editing? Now you like your videos. Guess what? Now you take your video editor, you say, hey, like, here it is. You give them a close deal because they trust you. Now you can get referral fees for things that are just making things happen, because you become a trusted advisor. And now you can give close deals to people. And that happens in any industry. So that's why I wanted to make sure that I emphasize that, because you know, we're talking some things that now that you solve some problems for people, now people just want to, like, hey, like, connect me with somebody in another state. Connect me in here,
so
right?
I had 2 people reach out to me today. One of them is PCSing from Japan. The other one is PCSing from here to Florida. And, you know, I put them in contact with the person in California, my real estate agent in California, and I put them in contact with an agent out in Florida. So, you know, network is where it's all at. And being able to be that, hey, I got people, you got people, like, let's connect, let's collaborate, let's help each other grow. That'll take you to places you never imagined you could make it.
No, that, you know, couldn't say anything better. I mean, we're both testimonies that we didn't know what we were gonna do. Didn't know what we're doing. We still trying to figure it out. To be honest,
there's always ways to grow. You know? Always ways to grow.
So just, you know, just start and just figure out the way. You know, figure out along the way. That's the best advice that I can give you. So, man, I just want to say thank you for taking this time to allowing me to be in your space, dude. Like I drove from Hillsboro, Oregon. It wasn't Boise, giving you break for you to finish the work and stuff. And then it's like, come here, and now, you know, being able to record some very valuable content. I'm excited to share this because this is a good one.
Yeah, I know they're going to enjoy it. And I do want to open up the floor a little bit. So for anyone that's interested in buying real estate, selling real estate, investing in real estate, or becoming a real estate agent, I want to offer you guys a free 30-minute call with me. You can talk to me about whatever you want. And I want to open that up to your network. So anyone that's interested, I'll send you the Calendly link, and they can sign up for getting on my calendar and doing that.
Perfect. So the link should be in the description.
Yep.
Gotta make sure that he gets it to my development team. And, you know, look, like he's pretty cool to just, you know, have a conversation. You don't know sometimes what you don't know, you know, and he can point you in the right directions from that. And as always, you know, you want to reach out to me, you'll probably know how to find me if you're here watching this. So,
absolutely.
Man, what a great thing. And I can't wait to create more content with you. Can't wait to have an update, dude, on all the things. I mean, dude, 3 years since I've changed, since I've been out. And it's been a journey, and now I'm going to Puerto Rico. It's a new journey. Just sold my house, so it's kind of perfect that the day that I closed my house and got funded, I go in and talk here with Naseem and talk about this, man. Thank you for allowing me to be here in your house, man. Because this has been a good experience, man. And I definitely know that this is not gonna be the last time that we're gonna record some.
Oh yeah, next one will be in Puerto Rico.
Dude, if you go there, dude, just hit me up. I'm gonna have a studio there, so it will be easy. So this is in your space. We'll do the next one in my space, man.
Too easy.
But yeah, man, like, you know how to find him, and also I'll make sure that his social media is gonna be there, so that way you can connect him in there. All the things that we already mentioned about that. So
too easy.
Okay, so this was Naseem Issa and Fu, and this is us signing off.
Thanks for listening to Moments with Fu with your host, Fu. Please leave your feedback and visit strategicadvisorboard.com to get the latest and greatest business advisement on the planet. Follow us on social media for updates, and we will see you on the next episode.